Hello and welcome to Saco's first televised candidates forum for the newly formed Regional School Unit number 23. I'm your moderator, Justin Chenette. The election will be held on Tuesday, February 10th, so mark your calendars, it's coming up. And the poll locations are as follows. Wards 1 and 2 will be at the Saco Middle School Gymnasium. Wards 3 and 4 are at the Governor Fairfield School Gymnasium. Ward 5 is at the Community Center on Franklin Street, and Ward 6 and 7 are at C.K. Burns School Gymnasium. There are 5 Saco candidates vying for 4 seats available on the RSU board. They join us here to discuss their candidacies. We have Lorraine Whelan, Elizabeth Johnston, Shirley Jones, David Galley, and Daniel Cabral. The format of the forum is as follows. As moderator, I will pose one question, and then each candidate going down the line will give a 2 to 3 minute response. I reserve the right to ask follow-up questions and to stop a candidate if it is time to move on. At the end of the forum, each candidate will be given time for closing remarks. Let's begin. What in your life has prepared you to take on the role of RSU board member? In other words, your qualifications and experience. Next question, do you believe Governor John Baldacci's reorganization plan is the appropriate route to take? And if so, how do you believe Saco schools in particular will ultimately benefit from the deal? One major issue some residents have, and actually Shirley Jones just mentioned this, surrounds the individual voice of the community. Do you think consolidating to one board for 3 communities might hinder local input from the public? One of the major reasons behind the push to reorganize is this idea of consolidating resources in order to save money. What do you deem to be the estimated cost savings, particularly for Saco, and will it be substantial enough to make a real difference? With hundreds of employees under the direction of one entity instead of 3, how would you and the rest of the board deal with any possible discrepancies in employee pay and contracts? Lorraine Whelan. Staying on the topic of monetary concerns, President Barack Obama's stimulus package, if passed by Congress, would include over $140 billion for our education system alone. Maine is poised to receive a sliver of that financial pie. If Saco received funds from the stimulus, what do you believe is the most needed area for that money to go? Shirley Jones mentioned constructing a possible new elementary school, referring directly to Young School. Would you, as a RSU board member, support a project similar to that? Next topic, how will you specifically work with members from Dayton and Old Orchard Beach to foster the best educational outcome for all of the near 4,000 students within this new unit? Lorraine Whelan. Will consolidating resources and reorganizing administration create increased educational opportunities and programs students did not have access to before? If so, name specific ones. Education comes down to preparing young people to be active and informed citizens in this changing world. I'm sure you all know last year the Maine State Board of Education initiated a program with Governor John Baldacci to appoint 2 student members, one from each congressional district. Honor Wilkinson of Calais represents Congressional District 2, and I'm the student board member for Congressional District 1. Would you support a student leadership initiative on this RSU board, and if so, what would it look like? Lorraine Whelan.
I would support student activity, participation in some form. I'm not sure exactly how or what it would be. Certainly I think we have to keep the students aware of what the boards do and how the system works, and if they have some input, we certainly would want to hear it.
Elizabeth Johnston.
I would certainly support a student, connection to the school board. Are you asking, would we specifically want a student participating on the
Any
RSU?
type of student leadership initiative on the RSU?
I think we certainly would be open to hearing what students have to offer, have to say, particularly if they are active in their schools and are involved in any sort of initiative that might be beneficial to us. But I don't envision a student participating on the school board as such. And you were a liaison for us between us and the state at one point in time and came to speak to us. I think that would be the type of way I would envision such a communication or participation.
Shirley Jones?
Well, we're treading on new territory here, and we're sort of waiting to see what is going to happen with this board per se. As for student participation, I think it would be wonderful, but I think I would be a little hesitant to see it take place in the first year because everybody's testing the water, or going to be testing the water, and we're hoping and visualizing that this is going to be a very successful program and board, and I would think that maybe this is something that in the second or third year of the RSU that we would inaugurate something like that.
David Galley?
Yeah, this is a good issue that you and I have had conversations about before. Definitely the student input is valuable. To be on a school board, you need to be elected by your fellow community members. But student input is valuable information because it says it from their perspective, and that's helpful for school board members. So as an advisory or as an ad hoc, I would highly support it. I think, above other things, it may give a student the opportunity to see what it's like to be on the school board and perhaps run in the future. One of the problems that we have in this community is that we don't get people running for office. This is the first time in quite a while that we actually have more candidates than we have office, and that's kind of too bad. Perhaps a program like this would incite, would make people think twice about it. Maybe I want to do this. I've been involved with it in high school, and I want to continue on. That, to me, would be a good thing. Hearing their voice from where they're coming from, that would be a good thing. So I don't see too many negatives about that. However, being a voting member of the board, I think you need to be elected, and I think there are certain qualifications that you have to have for that.
Wrapping up our time together, now it is time for closing remarks, beginning with Lorraine Wheeler. I'd like to thank all the candidates for showing up here at this forum, taking time out of their busy schedules. Just a reminder that David Cabral is also another candidate, but he was unable to attend the forum. I'd also like to thank Mayor Ron Michaud and Superintendent Michael LaFortune for assisting TATV in putting this forum together in such a short amount of time, I may add. Thank you at home for watching Saco's first televised candidates forum for RSU Unit 23. I'm Justin Schnedt, and before we go, here are the voting poll locations on Tuesday, February 10th. Wards 1 and 2 are at the Saco Middle School Gymnasium. Wards 3 and 4 are at the Governor Fairfield School Gymnasium. Ward 5 is at the Community Center on Franklin Street. And Wards 6 and 7 are at C.K. Burns School Gymnasium. Remember to become aware with issues of the day, get involved in your community, and vote on the February 10th election. I'm Justin Schnedt. You've been watching TATV Channel 3, your #1 source for local politics. See you at the polls.